Greetings, my name is Jean-Pierre. I'm very pleased to present you some elements of my upcoming conference on healthy, sustainable food. From my perspective, the key in Canada to address both health and sustainability challenges that are very, very present is to operate a bold, well-designed transition towards more plant-based food policies, essentially much more plant-based diets. Presently, there is an excessive consumption of animal foods in Canada. You probably see that around you. You think it's normal, but it is not. And even though this food tradition, has brought us where we are right now, we would all benefit from a reduction of animal food and an increase of quality plant-based food in our diets. The impact of animal foods are huge from an environmental viewpoint on climate change, on biodiversity, on local level pollution. And the impacts are amazingly high also in terms of our health. So we are really not winning much to have this overconsumption of animal foods. The animal food industry is, of course, generating massive cruelty vis-à-vis the animal world. And from an economic viewpoint, it doesn't make much sense. Give you an example. For the beef, you need about 30 proteins, 30 units of proteins of plants to produce just 1 unit of protein of animal food, in this case beef. So this is an extremely inefficient industry. It's very weird that it is still so present in our society. So we can operate a transition. And there is a huge scientific basis to proceed so. And we know that there are regions in the world where people have much, much healthier lives when they eat less meat. The key, maybe the most amazing benefits are in terms of health. It's now proven that about 80% of chronic diseases can be prevented, maybe more, through a healthy diet and healthy lifestyle. And diet is really the key here. So such a transition is really a public health issue too. Now, how to proceed very concretely? From my perspective, the first thing is awareness, and at some point, this should become a top priority, a top public policy priority at the various levels, at the level of the country, but also the provinces, cities, public institutions, corporations, schools, etc. So it's really a matter of putting this at the forefront of the policy agenda, and then to design policies that will bring people in the right direction. So that happens at the consumption level. You and me, we are eating 2-3 times a day, and so every single meal we choose to have can have an impact in terms of our demand of plant-based foods and in terms of the production. Right now, Canada is very, very much focused on producing a lot of animal foods, and my take is that Canada would be much better off to produce healthy, highly healthy, the most nutritious plant-based foods. That should be really the priority. So to do that, of course, we need awareness. We need to set that as a policy goal. Any parties could basically join that kind of endeavor, I think, because the benefits are so overwhelming. And then it's a matter of designing the right policy mix, the right choice of instruments. And we are going to discuss at the conference the various kind of instruments that can be used to ensure there is an orderly yet bold transition towards more plants in our diet, towards plant-based diets. So this is the topic of the conference. It's slightly significant, but why not? Why not? And think about this. It can be very simple at the level of a person. James Cameron decided one day to become a vegan. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting for people to become vegans, but to increase significantly the amount of plants in their diet is something that can be done nearly overnight. It can be done in a matter of weeks or months. Certainly, in 1 year, one can, for example, achieve a 50% reduction of animal foods in our diet, and actually improving our diet at the same time. So what can be done individually in a matter of weeks, months, or a year, for example, can be implemented also at the level of jurisdiction, at the level of a province, at the level of Canada. Maybe it's going to take 2, 3, 5, 10 years, but it can be done. And I think that is really the direction Canada and its provinces should look at. You can also check my article that recently published in the Policy Options Review, where I essentially argue about this. But we'll be very happy to welcome you at the conference. And also the event will be videotaped and available via Facebook Live. So if you cannot make it, you will be able to see the event online. So thank you so much for your attention, and we look forward to having you among the attendants to the event. Thanks.